Hey everybody! So, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this before on my channel, but when I was a kid, I still am a bookworm. When I was younger, I spent most of my time reading books. Any books I could get my hands on I'd read. My parents would have to confiscate my books from me so that I would do my chores and do my homework, and my teachers had to confiscate my books from me when I was like reading during math class instead of learning. So yeah, I haven't read as many like physical books recently as I'm sure you've watched my ADHD video, and that caused some problems for me, and the fact that I'm on social media more and reading more fan fiction online and watching YouTube more, but like books will always be like important to me, and so I decided, because why not, that we take a tour of some of my favorite books today. I'm just going to give you 5 books that I will highly recommend to anyone. So yeah, let's get this party started. The first book that I generally recommend to people is actually a series that's called Fable Haven. It was actually written by an author that lives in Utah, Mull. The series I know called The Beyonders, and I'm pretty sure some others, but this is my favorite one of his. It's actually the 3rd book in the series, and as you can see, it has gotten a lot of love-in from me over the years. I haven't kept it in great condition. That's always been something I've been bad at, but I got this when I was around 8 or 9 years old. I've read the series hundreds of times, and I really love it. It's a fantasy. It's about these 2 siblings, Kendra and Seth, who find out that magical creatures actually exist and that their grandparents help to protect them and like kind of preserve the magical side of the world. And it's just a bunch of adventures about them saving the world from an apocalypse. I don't want to spoil a lot, but it's very good. This is one of my favorite books in the series, which is probably why I have it more readily accessible to me than most of the other ones. But yeah, Fable Haven, it's good. I've always liked it. I know a lot of people don't for some reason. A lot of my sisters like started the series and just never finished it, but I've never had that problem. I get sucked into them every single time I read them. So yeah. Recommendation number 1, Fable Haven. My second recommendation to anyone is called Nobody's Princess. It actually has a sequel called Nobody's Prize, but it is written by Esther Friesner. I probably horribly pronounced that name. I'm going to put it somewhere on the screen so that you guys actually know how to spell it, because I'm bad at pronouncing things. It's set in like ancient Sparta with like Hercules and Jason and the Golden Fleece and all that stuff, but the main character is actually Helen, who goes on to become Helen of Troy. And this is just kind of like what Esther has done here is she's taken Helen and given her her own like complete adventures and like these secrets and like these adventures and like different romance and different stories, and it's just very, very cool, and I really like it. I don't know, I got it for my birthday a while ago, and I've just always loved it, and I really need to get the sequel to it. I have no money. But yeah, Nobody's Princess, very cool, very dramatic, would definitely would recommend this one. Now, this 3rd one I actually just recently started. I just finished this yesterday, so what's today? As of July 28th, I just finished this book. It's called The Girl from Aleppo, and it is non-fiction, which is actually something I don't read a lot. I read a lot of fiction and fantasy, but this is non-fiction, and it's basically about this girl called Nujeen. I probably pronounced that one wrong as well. Her story of being a refugee from Syria, I believe. But it's just super inspiring because she was in a wheelchair this entire trek she and her sister made together out of Aleppo, which is where they lived. It's a city, I believe. I can't remember what country it was in, but their journey from there to Germany to freedom from the things that have been going on there and all the terrorism and stuff. And it's just really emotional. It's just really cool. I read it for like 5 hours solid yesterday because we were on a road trip, and it was just super emotional. And it's like all stuff that's happened recently, and it's like just her actual story. I believe it is written by both Nujeen, Mustafa and Christina Lamb. And Christina Lamb was also, coincidentally, the co-author of I Am Malala. So yeah, super inspirational, but definitely recommend this, like, 100%, especially as a non-fiction. Fourth is kind of one of my guilty pleasures. That sounds way worse than it is. It is Sarah Dessen. Now, Sarah Dessen is actually the author of all these books. I'm sure I've mentioned it before that she's one of my favorite authors, but the first book I read from her is called Just Listen, and she basically writes realistic fiction, and places the protagonists, like this one, Annabelle, in today's world in a town in high school, and just real life problems, and addresses a lot of very important things. And they are romances, and I'm pretty sure her books are like aimed toward young women and teenage girls, but I'm obsessed with them, and like, I don't know, they're all good. And a fun little Easter egg I found in reading all of her books is that she'll like put little Easter eggs from her other books into books. They're all like interconnected. It's kind of like the Pixar theory, but actually in her books, and it's really cool. But yeah, her books are really fun. She's a great writer. I want to be like her when I get books published. Yeah, it just has a lot of cool messages about relationships and family and love and real life and dealing with stress and things. So yeah, check out Sarah Dessen. My favorite one is Just Listen or Dreamland, and that is book number 4. Final book is one I just recently got when I went to FanX. I'm sure you watched the vlog of that. I got a couple books, and this is one I got. It is called The Actuator, Fractured Earth. It's the first in the series, and it's the only one I've read, by James Wymore and Aiden James. It's really new. I got it signed, actually, so I'm super happy about that. But it's sci-fi, which is like not what I generally read, but I loved this. It's basically every genre put into one, because there's this machine, I don't want to spoil too much, but there's this machine that can change the world to be whatever the person controlling the machine wants it to be, and there's an accident and it splits the world up into tons of different genres of story, and it's just really cool, and it's really emotional, and it's written really well. There's a lot of fun characters, there's like a very good plot, a lot of, yeah, like the plot all comes together, like the characters make sense, and the dynamics just work. Even with this crazy setting they've been thrown into, it just works so well, and not a lot of people could do that. I probably couldn't, but I'm very excited about this, and I'm going to read the rest of the series once I have money. So yeah, that's the 5th one. So that was just a little exploration into what I actually read and what I actually consume. I read way more stuff than that. I had this whole phase during 9th grade where I only read the Warrior Cats books, and I have a bunch of those, but I wasn't going to include those because I'm not as obsessed with them anymore. Obviously, things like Harry Potter will always have a good place in my heart. I still read a lot. I read a lot of fan fiction, and I write a lot more than I read now, which I need to get more back into reading, which I probably will once school starts again. I would highly recommend, if you haven't read these books before, that you go check them out, and who knows, maybe in a little while I'll do another one of these with some of my other favorite books, and yeah. So if you enjoyed this today and you want more insights into what I enjoy and what I indulge in, go ahead and let me know in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to my channel if you want to see some other fun, weird stuff. You can also subscribe by hitting this bubble over here, and you can see my last video up here. And all my social media is down in the description below, and that's about everything. So yeah, hasta la pasta. I'll see you next time.